So in this video, I wanted to talk through the multi-pen style refills sold in Uni's Jetstream pens. The recent release of the Jetstream Edge 3, which is about a $30 multi-pen, so not cheap at all, has brought on a lot of questions about what the refill found in this pen can be used in. And are all Jetstream multi-pen refills reusable? It's an interesting question because the Edge 3 and the Edge before it, the single Edge, comes in a really innovative 0.28 millimeter hybrid or ballpoint style writing tip. It's the thinnest ballpoint style writing tip ever made. So it's a pretty big deal. And these pens are being sold at a pretty significant markup in the US, maybe like $30+, maybe $40 for the Edge 3, and $20+ for the standard Edge, even though this is only an $8 pen in Japan. But you can buy the refills they use. It's called the SXR 203-28. You could find those refills for about normal price. So can you put them in something like the Jetstream 3, which is about a $5 multi-pen, or maybe the Jetstream 3 Slim Compact, which is a really fantastic multi-pen, and it's very thin, pretty affordable, maybe $6-7. It's my favorite multi-pen body. So can you change that with that 0.28 millimeter writing tip? So let's jump right into it. We will go ahead and pull out the black from the Edge 3, and let's see if it fits in place of the black on this pen. So the Jetstream 3, the standard refill is called the SXR 80. See if we can get that. SXR 80-1.0. That's supposed to be a 1.0 millimeter, but there is also an SXR 80-05-0.07, depending on the size. So the SXR 80, which is very common Jetstream multi-pen refill, and the SXR 203 are, I can tell you, identical. And now we'll put it into the Jetstream 3, and we'll prove that they're actually interchangeable. The series name is different, obviously SXR 203 rather, and the SXR 80, but they are interchangeable, and they will work in either pen. So I would say that is the number one question people have had answered right now. There is the red, there's the blue, and there is the black from the Edge. And it works perfectly. Completely interchangeable experience from the other refills. Again, from that standard SXR 80. Now we'll get the SXR 80 from the Jetstream 3, or from any Jetstream multi-pen for that matter, and we'll try to get it into the Edge 3 or the Edge body. And let's see how it goes. It should just pressure fit in there. Yep, nice click in as you'd expect. We'll line this up, line up that asymmetric writing tip where it's off center, and twist as you'd expect. There's your 1.0 millimeter from the Jetstream 3, used right alongside the 0.28 millimeter SXR 203 that came with the pen. Just for good measure, well, let's grab that 1.0 millimeter and we'll try it in the standard Jetstream pen. Sorry, Jetstream Edge pen. Pushes right in, has that same pressure fit, no problem. Lock it down. Clicks as you'd expect. And it writes nicely. Now we have a 1.0 millimeter Jetstream refill, one of my favorite pen refills of all time, inside the Edge body, which for me is just a killer combination because I like this body and I don't really need a 0.28 millimeter writing tip. So for me, that's a really great fit. Lastly, I wanted to talk about this pen here. This is the Jetstream Premier or Jetstream Prime, whatever you want to translate it as, in a 3+1. This is their highest end multi-pen from the Jetstream line. It's an executive pen. And the interesting thing about it is it uses the same twist mechanism as the Jetstream 3. It uses this sort of refill. This sort of mechanism where you just twist it, and you can see black, red, blue, pencil. So it's a 3+1, and it has a bit of a push here for the pencil. This pen uses a different refill. That's part of the reason it's a premium pen. It uses a refill called, we'll pull that one out, the Jetstream SXR-200-07. So you could ignore the 07, that's just the size, but it's the SXR 200. To me, and obviously to anyone logical, that sounds a whole lot like the SXR 203. They're both 200 series, you would call it, from the Edge. And obviously the outlier is the SXR 80 from the standard Jetstream. But here is the SXR 203 from that Prime pen. And here is the SXR 200 from the Prime pen. And here's the 203 from the Edge. Clearly they're not interchangeable. The SXR 203 with its metal body is actually the Uni-ball or Uni version of a standard D1 style refill, which is an ISO standard refill, commonly seen in European style multi-pens, but obviously available in a lot of Japanese multi-pens as well. But that's an ISO standard that pens across the world should use. So SXR 200, the high-end D1 style refill, would be interchangeable or roughly interchangeable with a D1 refill, but not interchangeable with the rest of the Jetstream refills. So while we can't put one of those refills into our Jetstream Prime, we can certainly get the SXR 203 and put it into some different pens. Obviously, maybe not obvious, but there is some variance from one D1 to another, and because it uses a brass pressure fit, like it uses a brass sleeve, it's not perfectly interchangeable, but it is a D1 and fairly different than the other pens here. So I think that might be more than anyone cared to know about Jetstream refills. But to recap, we have the Jetstream Edge with the SXR 203, and that is interchangeable with the refills, the SXR 80 from a Jetstream 3. So if you love the Edge 3 or the Edge body, and you want to put in a wider refill, a 1.0 or 0.7 or even a 0.5 refill, or 0.38, whatever you want to get, you can definitely do that. If you want to get a 0.28 millimeter Jetstream refill and put it into a more affordable body, you can do that as well. So basically the SXR 203 and the SXR 80 are interchangeable, but the SXR 200 is the outlier here. This will allow me to really mix and match a couple pens, and instead of having all 1.0 millimeters in here, I'll probably trim it down and spread out these two 0.28s, or maybe I'll just go ahead and get this body that I really like from the Edge, and I'll keep my favorite Jetstream refill in it. That's the 1.0 millimeter. Anyway, probably a super niche question, but it's been brought up a few times to me, so hopefully this answered it. So thanks for watching.